Okay, let's see if this is actually working. Okay, I think we're good. Just need to make sure my tabs are proper here. All right, we're going to have Aonishiki here and go from there. Okay, so day 11. It's been interesting. There's a lot we can talk about. I'm going to go through the basics of the day and then wait for you guys to come in, and then, we can get into some of the higher level topics. Hello, acid test kids. All right, we're going to start off with hello, Tim. We're going to start off with the lovely, the beautiful Enho. It looks like a return to juryo is in the cards. I'm not exactly sure what the situation is with the elder stock, if he just needs to appear in juryo or if he needs to compete at least in one match. I'm not sure the deal. But for now, I'm cautiously optimistic that our dear friend Enho will in fact qualify for elder stock. I'm impressed with him. I'm shocked at the same time because, oh yeah. Sorry, I'm getting off topic here, but yes, there was a time change here in America. I don't know, how many people actually do daylight savings time versus don't, but yeah, sorry if that's going to throw anybody off. I hope their notifications work. But anyway, I'm cautiously optimistic that our dear friend Enho will be in the sumo world for a long time now that he has secured his return to juryo. Now we have Wakanosho, who, was in Yusho contention. This would have been his opportunity to win back-to-back Yusho. But he comes up to the top division and he loses. Might be a little bit premature for him, but I think he was probably a little overexcited, wanting to prove himself. I don't necessarily think that he's going to, be horrible in the top division, but it was a nice wake-up call for him. Top division and juryo are very different beasts. Ha, Bob says we got to go for 3 hours tonight. We shall see. Have you seen the Kimidashi Sumo Salon? It was basically a Teruno Fuji tribute. No, I did not see that one, but I saw the Komusubi one, and it is very, very Takakeisho heavy. So if you haven't seen the Komusubi one, I recommend. So then Chiyoshoma starts us off. I was just, right before Chiyoshoma shows up, I was thinking, wow, we haven't had many Hankas this tournament. And today became the Hanka day. So Chiyo does the Mongolian Hanka not Hanka. Why not? Very next match, Mitake Yumi seems to be inspired and pulls the Hanka not Hanka on Asanoyama. And they reversed the call, which surprised me in the sense that it looked pretty close. But then I thought to myself, is this one of these moments where they're just making it up to Asanoyama for all the stuff they did to him? They're like, you know what? We don't like the Hanka anyway. We're just going to give it to you. I don't know. It was a curious decision, we'll say. Fuji Seiyun, quick Yurikiri to Oshoumi, gets his Kachikoshi. Impressive. Exciting. Looking forward to the next tournament for him already. Fuji Ryoga with the mullet. Belt battle. He raises up Shishi. It was a pretty sumo-looking match for Shishi. I have to say, if you didn't know him, you would think, oh, wow, just, regular type match. But Fuji Ryoga shows how powerful he is. So once again, another guy to get excited about. The Fuji in the front is doing better than the Fuji that is, so the prefix Fuji is doing better than the suffix Fuji at this time. Asakoryu, very, very good tournament for him. Those past troubles that I was concerned about, where he was losing a little bit of the aggression, he was doing some hankas, he was trying some surprise techniques. He's been extremely aggressive in this tournament, so it looks like he's found his way. and he's doing very well for himself. Shodai probably thought, I will have no trouble absorbing the little man's Tachi, and he was wrong. And let me tell you something. Hiro Morita actually laughed. He couldn't help himself. He just laughed at Shodai's giving up on the edge. Hello, Elbow Macaroni. Or L-Bomb Macaroni. Glad you're here. Welcome, welcome. This is a fun, chill place to hang out and talk sumo stuff. We're going to really get into the comment section. I see your comments about Aonishiki. We will go there. We will go there. Let me get through my spiel. But yes, welcome to Elbow Macaroni. Elbow Macaroni. Anyway. Okay. Ura versus Asahakiryu. So Ura really fought hard in this match. I don't think I've ever seen Ura just sort of grit it out the way he did in this. And it's so funny because when he wins the match, the crowd goes insane. If you just took the end of that match, you would think either Ura was a Yokozuna, Ura was an underdog who beat a Yokozuna, or that was a playoff match because the crowd goes absolutely insane every time Ura wins, and I'm there for it. Love it, love it, love it. He's only 5-6. Feels like he's going to get a Zensho. So now, Hakan Fuji. I'm starting to feel like this is looking like a tragic story. And maybe I'll save this for the live recap show, but there's almost this poetic injustice that when Hakuho sought him out and picked him up and named him after himself, Haku Oho, Ochiai, all of his different names, probably thought this is the greatest thing to ever happen to me, and it kind of feels like it's the worst thing that could have happened to him. With all the baggage and the craziness that happened, poor Hakan Fuji is just in the worst spot possible. I hope this is not the end of his tale. Tamawashi, looking very old this tournament. He could be a little hurt. He could be losing steam. Not sure. But, he's not looking the way he's looked. And I'm always on the lookout for, is this the moment where everything changes and he can't do this anymore? So I'm a little nervous, but then I remember it's Tamawashi. So, keep the warning light on for Tamawashi. Now we must discuss this, which I already got comments from people. Fujinokawa versus Abi. I'm just going to pause for a moment and let it sink in. Okay? That was probably the most justified Hanko you will ever see in your life. I mean, let's just flesh this out for a second. Abi is King Hanka, and he should know better. Fujinokawa is a small guy, but he got sucked into how aggressive Fujinokawa has been this whole tournament and got beaten by his own trickster move, and it was glorious in every way possible. It's my favorite Hanko of all time. I'm going to get a still of it and frame it and put it on my wall. Now, my overall comments for Fujinokawa, he's had an incredible tournament, and he's had some huge wins. But I thought even very early on, that aggressive style that he has, he cannot maintain that for 2 weeks against guys that are way bigger than him. It's going to get tough, and his record is showing that. So I'm loving him. I think he's amazing. He has beaten the top guys, but 2 weeks is a long time to fight like that against the giants. And like I said, I see all the things you guys are saying. We will get to that. So, Yoshida Fuji versus Chirana Umi. This match was a classic tale of 2 weeks. Both of these guys took wins off of Aonishiki. Now they're barely hanging on with a 5-6 and a 3-8. Sumo's hard. 2 weeks is hard. Week 1, you can look like the best sumo wrestler of all time, and by week 2, you might not even be able to keep your rank. The move at the end was called a Nuwatanage. It looked like a Nuchari. Crazy ending. I couldn't tell who initiated it. I believe Yoshino Fuji actually initiated it, but Chirana Umi was sort of battling through it, but they give the match to Yoshino Fuji. No Monoi. It was a cool looking match, but I don't know. Just the records alone kind of killed that for me. Now, Wakataka Kage. I'm going to say this. He's rising back to the top. He's had a really hard tournament. He's had a bunch of hard tournaments. Ever since he went on the Ozeki run and it crashed out, he's been hurt in multiple body parts. But he's got endurance. He never gives up. He's up to a 6-5. You never know, guys. You never know what he's capable of. This he could turn this whole thing around. So keep an eye on Wakataka Kage. Hiromi, once again, looks great in the first week. Already down to 5-6. I think he's starting to peter out. Daisho versus Atami Fuji. Atami Fuji looked extremely confident. I feel like he's a new man. Does that mean he will definitely wind up, like, say, with an 11-4 or beat some guys and, like, make a splash? I'm not sure, but he seems so different. I don't know if it's all the things going on back at the stable, but it's almost like he's got something to fight for all of a sudden. And to be that confident in a battle with Daisho, I think that's a very encouraging sign for him. Okay. When I saw Oho, I had to sing a song. We don't talk about Oho. We don't talk about Oho. Why? Why should we talk about Oho? He's the most frustrating man in sumo, but he looked great against a fading Wakamoto Haru. I fully expect a collapse the next day. Kirishima versus Gonoyama. So this was where we're finally getting into the let's mess around and start knocking guys out of the Yusho picture. So I have to say I'm very impressed with Gonoyama's improvement on keeping his opponent right in front of him. So he's blasting him on the tachi. He's really pushing guys back, but he's not losing them. Like, his footwork has improved quite a bit and he's sticking to his opponent. Unfortunately for him, Kirishima has battled Daisho so many times. If you remember the Yusho where he even fought Daisho back to back and beats him on the same move on the edge, Kirishima's got that backup plan. So Gonoyama didn't really have a chance in that sense if he's fighting someone like Kirishima who's very crafty. So, you know, he did what he needed to do, but unfortunately he couldn't finish Kirishima off. This is looking amazing for Kirishima right now. He hasn't looked this good in a long time. He really doesn't. He has pressure, but he doesn't, right? All he has to do is win a couple more. He doesn't have to win a Yusho. He just needs to win a couple more. And he's back. As the title says, all the pressure is on one man. And we will get to that. Next match, Takanosho versus Kotozakura. Say what you want about Kotozakura. He is just amazingly strong. He reverses Takanosho, and he just pushes him out. The way to beat Kotozakura is to move. And so, you know, that doesn't seem to be Takanosho's bread and butter anymore. So unfortunately, he's starting to drop out, but at least it helps me with my loyalty problems. You know that Takakeisho gets first loyalty to everything. So that means his students too. So if Takanosho was in this Yusho race, it would seriously hurt me with Hoshoryu because Hoshoryu needs to win this Yusho. So I'm glad in that sense it's out of my hands. Takanosho's out of the picture. But he's looking better than he's looked in a long time. And I have to say, his coach, you know, the word is out there that his coach has been really focusing on changing things for him. I don't know what kind of shape Takanosho is in overall, but he looks better than he has in a long time. So I'm giving this one to Minato Gawa. Aonishiki versus Kotoshoho. Okay. So there's so much talk about Aonishiki blowing it. Being overrated, blah, blah, blah. The thing that happens, I say ignore all of that. As much as I also say ignore all the hype of he's going to be the next Hakuho. You don't know anybody's going to be the next Hakuho because you don't know until, hindsight. The guy's got to have a whole career and then you can analyze it. You can't predict it. On the flip side, he's 21 years old and the pressure finally got to him. I mean, what are you going to do? It actually makes sense that the pressure would get to him. But I also think he injured himself. There's something going on with the foot. But think about the immense pressure he's been under this whole time. Like, the whole world knows about Aonishiki. He's like showing up in international everything. And he's 21 years old. And I was actually thinking when I was sparring the other day, I'm like, what if I had to win all of my sparring matches just to keep my rank? I don't know if I could handle that. So everybody just relax. It's one bad tournament. I think he'll be fine. But let's talk positively about Kotoshoho. Kotoshoho was trying to prove to the world that Yusho was not a fluke. And as I said before, he had that great battle with Takakeisho where, they took it to the very end. He was so close. But notice that his brother is back in the top division. Something about his brother really brings out his focus, I would say, because Kotoshoho always has a lot of energy, but sometimes he's all over the place. His footwork is crazy. He loses battles he shouldn't lose. He's very focused. He's got a message. But things are going to get tough. So I'm very excited for Kotoshoho, actually. But I'm cautious on it. Especially because you know what I want. You know what I want. We're going to get to it right now. Hoshoryu versus Takayasu. I was concerned. I was very concerned because Takayasu is a tough opponent for Hoshoryu. As the title says, and I will reiterate, the pressure is on one man and one man only. And it is Hoshoryu. Coming into this tournament, Aonishiki had the most pressure. But now that everything's fallen apart, all eyes are on Hoshoryu, which they have been since he made Yokozuna. Where's the Yusho? Where's the Yusho? Where's the Yusho? With Onosato out, Aonishiki out of the Yusho picture, if he doesn't take this one home, he's going to get dogged. Which is why this sort of thing concerns me, because it's here's where the maximum pressure cooker is. And this is how you become a successful Yokozuna. Can you win when the pressure is so incredible? If you can't, then you'll never be great. So, back to this. Hoshoryu, goes back with Takayasu. I think Takayasu is backs might probably flaring up, but they go at it hard. And Hoshoryu just does the whole slip to the side, twist the arm, flick him out. Does his, slow walk, explosion man thing. No problem. But tomorrow is the problem. So, we're going to go over those matches real quick, and then I'm going to read all your comments because there's tons of them, and they're distracting me because I want to get into all of these things. You guys are putting excellent comments in here. So, I'm only focusing on 3 matches for tomorrow. The big one, Kirishima versus Hoshoryu. This is looking like the lineup from 3 years ago when the two of these guys were fighting for Ozeki, and then they were fighting as Ozeki. I mean, they have a long, storied history. All the pressure is on Hoshoryu because he is one loss behind Kirishima. Kirishima's on an Ozeki run. And I would argue that even though he's on an Ozeki run, he doesn't have anything to lose. Whereas Hoshoryu has everything to lose. The world is breathing down his neck for not being a good enough Yokozuna until he at least gets one Yusho. He still won't be good enough to them, but that's a different topic. But this is where champions are made. He has to feel this pressure and he has to win. And he can do it. I'm not going to guess on this one. You know what I want. Kirishima can get Ozeki promotion without beating Hoshoryu, so Hoshoryu all the way. I'm going to be having heart palpitations watching that match, I can tell you that. Then we have Kotoshoho versus Yoshino Fuji. Yoshino Fuji is a really tricky character because he came in as a rookie just so hot and ready to take on the world, and he's had so many ups and downs now, including week 1 beats Aonishiki, full of like vigor, and now he's falling apart. He is that guy who plays spoiler though. He's got that sort of spark in him where he wants to win the big matches regardless of his record. So Kotoshoho better watch out. He better take this match like don't let the nerves get to you. This is going to be a tough match. And then you have Gonoyama versus Kotozakura, which I find absolutely fascinating because you have the blitzing, powerful, fast Tachi of Gonoyama against the wall that is Kotozakura. If he can push Kotozakura back, like really blast him out, he can win this because Kotozakura is having trouble, obviously, with the knees, especially as you get into week 2. However, if he does not push him far enough back or not even back, far enough upward, Kotozakura is amazing at defense. Absolutely amazing. And that's where Gonoyama loses to people all the time. So, very tough match for Gonoyama. I'm surprised he's even up here at all. Kotozakura, desperate to get his 8 and 7 again. So, I think Kotozakura's probably got the edge, but maybe Gonoyama can surprise us. All right, I know there's other great matches. We'll take a look at them on the screen. And then, let me just pull them up on the screen, and then we will do our thing. I should have done 2 screens today, but I didn't. Give me a moment. Okay, so other notable matches. Let me just make sure everything looks right here. Okay. Other notable matches. Aonishiki versus Daisho. Aonishiki not looking so great right now. Daisho not looking so great right now. Daisho desperate to get his Kachikoshi. This should actually be a pretty good match. Kind of think Aonishiki, unless he's really, really hurt, is going to have the edge here. Takayasu versus Hiraumi. This should be a good match because as long as Takayasu's not too beat up, that's going to be a power match. Atami Fuji and Oho. You know, in the past, I would say this is a sadness match because neither man is living up to their potential. But Atami Fuji is looking really good, and I want to see if he can pull off double digits by the end of this. Oho always comes out for the big matches. He can't seem to beat, like, the guys beneath him because he looks bored or, you know, he's training under Shodai. But when the big matches come out, there's a different side that comes out. I'm going to say Wakamoto Haru Abi is not a good match and skip that. Wakataka Kage Ichi Yamamoto. Wakataka Kage is the walking wounded. But he is out to prove himself. I think he's going to give Ichi Yamamoto a real hard time. Fujinokawa versus Chirano Umi should be an excellent match. The records kind of stink. It's unfortunate. But Chirano Umi is like the solid strategy guy versus the explosive young guy who just wants to tear everything up. This could be an excellent chess match. And then Fuji Seun versus Takanosho. I'm always rooting for Takanosho. He's doing great this tournament. He's out of the Yusho, but a nice test for the rookie. And now I'm going to go back to our man here and read all of your comments because there's a million of them. Oh my goodness. I come back to the comments and they're flying. Okay. All right, let's get serious. I'm going all the way to the top. Okay. So Michael Brantley, this is way back, but it's okay. Shocked at how rough of a time Aonishiki is having right now. And Bob says, word is Aonishiki has a toe injury. I believe it was mentioned by one of the Oyakata in their columns. Okay, so it is shocking only because Aonishiki has been so consistent. So even though this is inevitable, this happens, when you get used to a guy just winning, seeing him fall like this, just it's shocking no matter what. And if he does in fact have a toe injury, yeah, the minute you get your first injury, you fight differently. And you have all this immense pressure on your shoulders. He has international pressure. People don't know who Fujinokawa is in America. We do, because we're awesome. But like the average person. I could go up to the average person and they might have heard of Aonishiki. Oh, yeah, that's the Ukrainian guy, right? He does sumo or something? He's in a whole other level of fame that's hard to describe, and he's quite young. So let's just see what happens. He might salvage the tournament at least, I hope. Like, if he goes Kodoban, that is going to be a disaster. But I'm not worried yet. It does suck for him. It does suck for us because what we wanted was a new Yokozuna. We wanted to see Aonishiki and Hoshoryu when they're at their best. They are going to fight each other, but boy, if Hoshoryu loses that match now, boy. But anyway, I did say hi to Elbow Macaroni. Bob says, too many people jinx Takayasu, but it also looks like his back is acting up. Well, he fell pretty hard 2 matches ago. I mean, right on his back. So, yeah, what can you do? He's up there in age, 36, I think. This is just going to happen. It's a shame because Takayasu is an incredible fighter. If we could just rewind 5 years and see him all over again in his prime, it'd be beautiful. Elbow says, thrilled to Kotoshoho. I hope I spelled that right. You did spell that right. And yes, I'm excited for Kotoshoho because he's been working hard for years, and things have not come together for whatever reason. I don't know if he's too hard on himself, or I know he was battling some injuries, but I always thought he was way better than his performances were showing. And now he's proving to everybody he's not a one-trick pony. He has that aggressive style. It reminds me a little bit of Chio no Kuni, which is another reason I enjoy his sumo. So, let's see. At least he's put himself into the picture. I hope. I want Hoshoryu to win, so I can't root for him too hard, but I hope he keeps it competitive. Hakan Fuji and Abe already saved themselves. They should have gone Kyujo last night. Yeah, maybe they will. I mean, this is the injury tournament. That was another thing I wanted to discuss. A lot of guys out, including the big guys. Like maybe Aonishiki would even have taken himself out if it didn't result in Kodoban, and also everybody wants to see him. But Onosato's shoulder is just trashed. Abi, I have no idea why he's competing with, a broken vertebrae or whatever, unless that translation is inaccurate. It's awfully dangerous to be fighting with a spinal cord injury. And Hakan Fuji, I mean, he looks horrible, like in horrible pain after every match. He's so young to be dealing with that. But they might have to fight on because so many other guys are out. I don't know. It's the way it works. Kirishima, if he can keep this pace up, might make a return Ozeki, though. Still have to wait and see, but I'm happy to see it. I don't even want to say it. If he wins tomorrow, I think he's going to get the Ozeki return. Like, I think nothing will stop him after that. So, and he can beat Hoshoryu. They have a long history. So, it all comes down to tomorrow for both of those guys. Hello, Victor. Nice to see you. Monster says, okay, now I'm worried about Tamawashi. I'm not sure if you're worried about him because I said something or if you were already worried because he's just getting escorted out gently like, sorry, next time, old man, which is making me feel sad because he's usually really aggressive. It could mean that he's having some sort of physical issue. And so he's just kind of give it up if he gets pushed too hard. I don't know. I called Kirishima Ozeki before this basho. Happy that I'm correct. Unhappy that Kirishima might win the Yusho. Don't speak like that, but he might. Quackidu says Hoshoryu. Yep, Hoshoryu all the way, baby. Warning light for Tamawashi. That's a great way to put it. Yeah, it's like hanging up over his head like, warning, warning, danger. Kitty versus Hosh is going to be great tomorrow. All the hype for this match. You're going to feel the tension. You're going to be sweating a little bit. I hope they make it really good. Like there wasn't some weird slip or, just such a quick force out because someone isn't ready. Like I hope it's back and forth on the belt. Who's going to throw? Who's going to go for the kirikaeshi? I mean, they both do that. They have very similar styles in a way. And they've battled each other in every type of sumo style. So This is a classic rivalry match. Bob says he wants a Hoshoryu show so bad. Anybody who likes Hoshoryu knows how badly this needs to happen. Everybody who hates Hoshoryu is just rooting for Kirishima. Even injured Koto and Aonishiki can put up a good fight against Kiri, especially if they need that last match to get Kachikoshi. This is true. Kirishima has choked in the past. He's not necessarily known to be a pressure guy. And I talk about this all the time. Getting to 10 wins is great. Getting the 11th is really, really hard. I've seen a lot of guys get to 10 wins, and then the whole thing falls apart at the end. And all of a sudden they're 10-5. So anything can happen. Tomorrow will tell us everything. Hoshoryu is in a tough spot. If he loses, it'll be used against him, but I don't think winning will silence any of his doubters this time. Precisely. It won't. Nothing will ever be good enough for the doubters. They will say, oh yeah, well, Onosato wasn't in the tournament and Aonishiki wasn't doing that great, so he had to win. If he loses, can you believe he couldn't even win when Onosato was out and Aonishiki wasn't doing well? He stinks. He should retire. He's the worst Yokozuna of all time. I already know. You know. We know. We all know. The only two guarantees, sumo is hard and sumo is dangerous. Exactly. Remember all the things people were saying about Onosato, and now he has a shoulder injury that's not healing correctly because shoulder injuries are nagging. They are very tricky. They don't necessarily heal right without surgeries. And even if you get a surgery, there's no guarantee. Look at with Hakan Fuji. He tried the surgery route. So Onosato goes from being the guy who wins like 4 Yusho last year to possibly being out for most of this year. And who knows, does he go down the Onosato route and he can never come back fully at all? There's no way to tell right now. He's actually in a pretty dangerous spot. Which puts more pressure on Hoshoryu as well, because now he's the lone Yokozuna. Speaking of which, the way Fuji Ryoga fought Atami Fuji head-on and won earlier in the tournament was astounding. He is quite the wrestler. He's strong, he's fast, he's fearless. It's hard not to root for him. But like I was kind of saying, I feel like he can't keep up that energy for 15 days. Maybe eventually, but right now, I mean, that's a tall task. These guys are way bigger than him. He's hitting a brick wall every time he charges headfirst into them, which is why the Hakan Abi today was just a brilliant piece of strategy. Let himself rest up a little bit. Monster says, this is one of those basho. Most things didn't turn out the way everyone thought. Yeah, slowly but surely, when people were dropping out, when Onosato dropped out, when Aonishiki started losing, you're like, all the hype. We can never have it all, can we? Fujinokawa has been my favorite to watch this basho. So dynamic and fun to watch. He is, he's got Ura level interest. You see this little man with just so much power. It actually, in some ways, it reminds me of Takekeisho. Like, could you imagine Takekeisho if he slimmed down to Fujinokawa's size? He would be like that. I mean, obviously, he is his size now. But, I mean, when he was a wrestler, he would fight like that. To have such determination that I'm stronger than you and I'm going to face you head on. And I am going to surprise the world. I mean, he's got so much character. Like, I hate what his record looks like now, but I hope he can maintain this. Like, I hope he can only grow and maintain the spirit. Also on Hanka, Nishi no Noru fell for the most obvious intentional mata into Hanka setup from Chiyoshima. Yeah, I kind of spoke about it, but I failed to mention who he actually was fighting. That's a hard introduction to the top division. Fight Chiyoshima, who's gonna, do the most infamous Hanka. Atami Fuji, definitely a new man. This is a much better sumo than 4 months ago. Slowly but surely. I mean, he built, John and I say it all the time, 2 tournaments makes a pattern. So Atami Fuji was looking great last tournament. And the fact that he's still in the same mindset, the record's not as good right now, but he's in the same mindset that I can win, because I think doubts were always Atami Fuji's biggest problem. Obviously, he's had some health concerns as well, which would affect his energy levels, which might affect his confidence, but he would go in a match and be frustrated. He would go in a match and like just not commit all the way. He's this huge guy and you weren't sure that he could win because he was showing it on his face. So I think that if he can maintain this confidence, he'll be very, very dangerous. He's got the kimidashi, he's got the size, he's got the agility for a big man, and he's still young. I can still say that about him. So keep an eye on him. He might have this sort of later resurgence than we wanted, but it's there. Minatogawa has stated he's a huge Gonoyama fan and wants Gono to make Ozeki. How are you coping with this, Maria? Well, I'm fine with it because Takakeisho and Gonoyama have known each other a very long time. I remember when Gonoyama first came up, Takakeisho was kind of excited to see him. So I kind of root for Gonoyama because he's in Takakeisho camp. So I'm good with it. Teimu, Takakeisho finally looking good. Gonoyama and Takakeisho are high school buddies. Yeah, exactly. So we're calling him Teimu Takakeisho now? That's the official word? Okay. Yeah, I will root for Gonoyama because he's friends with Takakeisho. If you are in Takakeisho's circle, you automatically get my loyalty. It's just how it goes. Takakeisho, my favorite wrestler of all time. Nothing will ever change that. But Hoshoryu is very close. I do very much enjoy Hoshoryu. Kotoshoho as Aonishiki's number. I wasn't surprised at all that he beat him. I wasn't either because he's got the exact style to push Aonishiki upright. And now everybody's doing the same exact playbook. It's like, oh, okay. They knew that before, but they couldn't figure out how to do it. But all of a sudden, a couple guys do it, and now everyone's trying the exact same move. And, you know, it's working. Thank you for streaming. You are welcome. I'm sorry this is our only stream of the midweek. We will have a live stream for the recap show, which will be very interesting and chaotic. But I have a very crazy, busy week. But I wanted to give you guys at least a stream. One mid-basho stream. So here I am. Elbow Macaroni seconds that. Sorry, just got in the door, grocery shopping on the way home, and I dawdled. You didn't miss anything, H-Tim. You know me. I just sit here and ramble on. Kotoshoho versus Hoshoryu has potential to be a great match, but I think Hosh takes it if it happens. Hosh should take it. He should take it every day of the week. And it's funny because my only hesitation with saying that is sometimes Hoshoryu does odd things and loses matches he shouldn't lose. But I have noticed in the last few tournaments, he's getting more and more confident. Some people are keeping a Kimboshi tracker on him. They're like, oh, he gave 2 more up. But he gave up 4 in September. Now he's only, now he's down to only 2 losses. Like, he is getting better. This is the way Hoshoryu came up. Hoshoryu was hyped from the minute he made the top division because of being Asashoryu's nephew. And he really struggled in the beginning. He didn't zoom right up like all these other guys. Very slowly and methodically worked through his issues, worked through his mistakes, worked through his frustration. He's doing the same thing at Yokozuna. It's not happening as fast as people want. And some people hate him because they have all sorts of weird reasons that make no sense to me. But I see him doing the exact same thing he's always done. I worry about the knee, but he's fighting strong, even with the knee. But we all know he is capable and has beaten everybody on this list. And that's what you need to be to Yokozuna. To be a Yokozuna, you need to be the guy that you beat everybody. Of course, Aonishiki is the trouble spot. He'll get him eventually. Could be this tournament. Might not be. That Aonishiki might take that match as the way to turn his tournament around. So, unless he's really hurt, But I want Hoshoryu to not have any lapses. In this tournament, he's done pretty good with that. He's looked confident. Even when he was in precarious situations, I could see that he was already working his way into a win. And that was pretty exciting. So, We'll see. Not asking, just thinking out loud, but if anyone wanted to do the anime off the top, I could use that window to put away the frozen foods. Oh, don't worry, Tim. You've probably put away all your frozen foods by the time I got to your comment. Aonishiki has one off basho after historic rise, and people already start doubting. I'm staying here on the Aonishiki train. It's the internet. I'm just saying it's the internet because it's like the morphogenetic field. I always have to bring that up. One person says it, and then the next person says it. Like, Aonishiki's overrated. One person says it. Somebody hears it and repeats it. Well, with the internet, you've got hundreds of people who will repeat the same thing and never know where the origin is. And then they start to believe it. So I think it's just a case of that. If you're being realistic here, Aonishiki's 21 years old. He's having an off tournament when all the pressure's on him, which makes perfect sense. I don't think I could have handled the pressure. I'd be like, get me out of here. He's still super talented, super skilled, and we know that he makes adjustments better than anybody. I think he will go back after this tournament, and as long as his body is in good shape, he will study the tape. He will do what he needs to do to get in good condition, and he's going to come back with a vengeance in May. I'm predicting that now. They added Blue Lock to the Adult Swim lineup, and it's so good. I had to stop watching it on TV and switch to subs. I heard of Blue Lock. I was going to put that on my list. I'll have to look into that. What's up with Blue Lock suddenly regaining popularity? My middle school students are all talking about it. Well, once it makes it to Adult Swim, all of a sudden it becomes a fad. It's on TV the past few weeks. That's all I know about it. But I'd be surprised if that many young people still watch TV when you can pirate anime on your phone. Yeah, that is a curious thing, but I don't know. Somehow people find out about it if it's on TV. Maybe they're not watching it on TV, but they heard it was on TV and then it piqued their interest. Kirishima can figure out the pushers except Takanosho, which is weird. Takanosho's timing is just a little bit different. If you notice that about Takanosho, and I have to guess it's the parry attempts that he's probably learned from his first training partner, Takekeisho, and now Master Minatogawa. Also, Maria, did you finish Daima yet? I didn't forget you said there would be more Daima talk. I did finish Daima, but now I don't remember what we last talked about with Daima, so we'll have to talk about it. But not yet. Very interesting decision to put Aonishiki versus Daisho. Yeah, I don't know why that decision was made, but maybe because Daisho's back's against the wall and he was Mr. Sanyaku for a long time. Obviously his yes, it was John, Monster. Yes, it was John that had to finish Daima. He did finish Daima and he will talk about it. Yes, anyway, back to Sumo. I think Daisho, with his back against the wall, is a very tough opponent, so perhaps that's why they gave him to Aonishiki. Perhaps during the recap show that's going to be live, Monster, John will talk about Daima. Atami Fuji's potential man no longer. Yes, potential man no longer. He's finally starting to be the wrestler everyone expected him to be. Waka close to Komusubi didn't think he would get Kachikoshi this time given his injuries coming in and him grabbing the elbow every match. He's tough. He's going for it. His brother is definitely like going way down. We seem to see this seesaw with the brothers. If Wakamoto Haru is doing good, Wakataka Kage isn't doing as good. Like maybe close, but he doesn't surpass him. And if Wakataka Kage is doing good, Wakamoto Haru just like falls apart. So expect Wakataka Kage to really, really start racking up the wins. Fuji Seiyun debuting at the same age as Takekeisho retired. It's hard. Every time I think about how young Takekeisho was when he retired, it's hard. Because he should still be out there fighting. And he should be making it really hard on some of these guys, but injuries are injuries. And, you know, he's going to have an advantage as an Oyakata that some of these other guys aren't going to have. You know, he's still got the young mind. He's flexible, willing to try different things. He's got a great sumo mind. He's still young and full of energy, and he didn't allow his body to be completely destroyed. So, we'll have to get our wins through his wrestlers. Hello, Alexander. I hate watching Aonishiki fail or fall. Sorry, I can't see it this time of night. It's sad. It's really hard. I feel for Aonishiki because, like I said, he is young and he is full of spirit, and he wanted this. So it's hard. You can see the disappointment on his face every time he loses, but I think he will bounce back with a vengeance in May. I really do. And then none of this will matter. He will take this defeat and turn it into power. Because sometimes you really can't succeed without the failure first. Cliche, I know, but you do learn more in losing than you do in winning. There are so many comments because we started anime time early. We are awesome. Yes, every one of us in here is awesome. You know why we're awesome? Just on a side note. You guys literally come here just to listen to me talk. I don't show you any sumo footage. I don't have any cool splash videos or anything. You just come to listen to me talk to you. Like, we talk back and forth, but you're awesome for coming here just to listen to me ramble. It's pretty amazing. And your comments are great. Side note, sumo in Latin means to pick up. Is that true? Is that actually true? Bob, you have the most fascinating knowledge. JJ in the house. What's up, JJ? Glad to see you here. Many unexpected standouts this basho. Takanosho, Koto Enho, Fuji Seiyun, Kotoshoho, Asakuryu. Yeah, I remember earlier in the week when you were like, this tournament stinks. And then I pointed out, but we have some incredible tournaments for some of these guys. I'm thrilled about Takanosho. Koto Enho fuels his brother Kotoshoho, and I love a brother storyline. Fuji Seiyun, brand new, and I'm getting to see what he's made of. And I love it when the rookies get their Kachikoshis right away. And Asakuryu has been a favorite for me for a while. Everyone's talking about Fujinokawa, and I understand why. But Asakuryu's got his own version of that small man power, aggression. And he seems to have gained some confidence this tournament too. So I hope he can keep it up. We just saw this with Onosato. Aonishiki will absolutely recover, but people are developing good strategies to take advantage of his straightforward and unchanging style. I think he will make adjustments. I mean, his bread and butter is the low crouch down and the, get in the right center of gravity, sort of bait you into a grapple, that kind of thing. And he's lightweight in comparison. He's not a lightweight guy, but like in comparison to a Koto Zakura. So he might need to bulk a little bit. It doesn't mean gain a ton of weight, but bulk a little bit and change up the strategy. But he should stay with his winning strategy. It still works. It's just he has to make adjustments now that guys know the right angles. That is inevitable. He will evolve. Kyoku Kairyu in Juryo has completely changed his style and is going full on Aonishiki low stance this basho. You're going to see Aonishiki influence a lot of guys. The style works. Oh my goodness, I'm losing my spot. Okay. I think March has historically been a big injury basho. Wasn't it last March we had like 12 Sekitori out? Yes, it's part of why it's called the Story Basho. I did hear something about the clay being different. Most of their tournaments are in the Kokugikan, so just everything's a little different, even where they train, when they're training for the tournament, when they set up their camps and stuff. Yeah. It's always been the Story Basho. It's always had a lot of injuries. March of 2020, there was no audience. Okay, and Kakuryu and Hakuho fought each other, and Kakuryu beat Hakuho for the Yusho with nobody in the crowd. I have that recorded. It's kind of eerie. Of all the issues people take with sumo, the injury system is the number one thing that needs fixing ASAP. Just look at this basho. It's disgraceful. I agree. They have to do something. They're going to be in trouble because they don't have all these new recruits coming in. and you're going to get everybody excited with the hot new talent, and then they're going to do something like the shoulder, and it's done. And then it's going to be like, oh, that guy sucked. No, that guy got hurt. People get hurt in sports all the time. In other sports, they're allowed to go out, get a surgery, come back, and make the biggest comeback of all time. In sumo, it's like, next. You know, they're ready to move on to the next great thing, who will also injure himself. It's a combat sport. It's a violent sport. Tamawashi has fought hard. The results just haven't gone his way, and his lower back won't get much better as he ages. Well, the man is 41 years old. It's like a miracle that he can stand toe-to-toe with all these young guys. So, yeah, that's why the warning light goes on, because eventually it will not be possible no matter how hard he tries. That's where I'm afraid. I'm always afraid of the day where we finally see that day where he can't do it anymore. I hope it's not now. Never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know what you're talking about either, Bob. Calling it now. Kiri versus Hanka. People have been obsessed with this idea that Hoshoryu is going to Hanka. I don't know that he's going to, because, you know, people have been calling a Hanka for him every single match this tournament. It's insane. There was some interview where he said, being a Yokozuna means I can't use techniques that I used to use. And I think he's talking about the Hanka. I don't think you'll see a Hanka from Hoshoryu. I think he cares a lot what people think and maintaining the Yokozuna pride and being the top guy. So I think he can't bring himself to do it, even if there's a win. We will see. I could be proven wrong, but I don't think we see another Hanka from Hoshoryu unless it's on Abi. Everyone knows it's okay to Hanka Abi. Speaking of slipping, Yoshino Fuji has slipped like 4 times this Basho versus Kiri and Hosh, and it looked weird how his feet didn't keep up with his body. You will see a lot of slipping in Osaka, and you see a lot of slipping in July. Where is July's tournament held? Somebody remind me. The mind games from Fujinokawa today were immaculate. The world rejoiced when Fujinokawa played Abi like that. I mean, it's perfect. It was the chef's kiss. Why do you want a long match, Maria? Root for a quick Yuri-Kiri by Hoshoryu. My heart can't take a long match. You know, you're right. From a complete bias standpoint, I should want a very quick Hoshoryu grabs the belt and dumps him. But from a sumo fan perspective, I want a really awesome classic match, which Hoshoryu also dumps him. People are haters. Yeah, they are. Haters gonna hate? Yep. You're not gonna change anything about them. They eat hate. They like exude hatred. They enjoy it like they're eating a piece of chocolate cake. And so if you're not that way, you'll never get into their mind. You'll never be able to reason with them. You just sort of like, oh, yeah, okay, yeah, Hoshoryu is the worst, yeah. Wow, he shouldn't even have been born. He's just taking up all the air in the room. Like, he's the meanest, he's the worst. On the other hand, you'll hear there's some people talk about Hakuho being the great one. Do you know how many dirty moves he did in his time? Do you know how angry the crowd got with him? Do you know how angry the Sumo Association got with him? You know how angry some of the wrestlers got with him? Pretty sure he knocked Endo out with a forearm at the Tachiai. And meanwhile, people will say Hoshoryu is a dirty, mean fighter. And I'm like, okay, he's like a teddy bear compared to the guys before him. He's a teddy bear compared to Uncle, okay? Uncle probably despises him for how nice he is. He just does the Yokozuna thing in the ring. As you should. If you're an actual competitor. Shoulders respond to therapy if done right, which is why he needs to be able to take time off. I don't know what they were expecting. Did they really think he was just going to be healed and be fine? Wrestling in all these tournaments? Come on. Give the guy a day off. He can lose his Kinbozan. Huh? I don't know what that is. I would hope Big O takes the majority of the year off and comes back healthy. Sacrifice 1 year of Yusho's for like 10 years of Yusho seems like a no-brainer. Here is the problem, and I agree with you to some extent, but I don't in another. Kisa Onosato tried this. when he, I think he tore the pectoral muscle. Kisa Onosato took an entire year off. Then he comes back and gets creamed and has to retire. This is the tricky balance of being Yokozuna, right? Or being any sumo wrestler. He needs the rest to heal. But if his conditioning goes down too much, or if the healing doesn't happen properly, he's done. So you have this balance of like, do I at least keep my condition up and try to fight it through it? I mean, it's a crap situation. As soon as you get hurt, it's a crap situation. We all know. We saw it with Takekeisho. There's nothing he could do. Couldn't take the time off to heal, but also couldn't endure anymore. So we need like a miracle for Onosato. This would be a real shame if he can't heal properly, because I think he was really going places. We'll see. Spring Storm Basho, they call it. Yes, and we've all affectionately changed it to Stormy Basho, I guess. Fujinokawa and Shirano Umi are getting the Joey welcome, but they've had good matches. We'll see them back in the Joey very soon. Yeah, like I said, I think it's the tale of the 2 weeks. They weren't quite ready to keep up that pace for 15 days. But you can see they fought hard in week 1. They won incredible matches. They're skilled guys. They're smart guys. But battles are won with the endurance. 15 days is a long time. Teimu Keisho. Yeah, we just gotta shorten it. Oh my goodness, guys, there's a lot of comments here. I am so behind. This is crazy. Yes, the morphogenetic field. I'm convinced it's real. I'm late, thought it was a 9:30 start. Yes, Army, this might be a case of the time zone issue. Earlier, they were like, oh, the time zone. Yes, our clocks were put up an hour, so what time you thought it might not be correct. My apologies for that. I didn't even think about that. So we did start at 9:30 an hour ago, which, sorry. Anyway, we'll be here for a while. So while you miss some stuff, we'll be here for a while. There's so many comments, I can't even catch up. Feels like Hosh has a lot of decisive victories this Basho, not too many nail biters. Yeah, he's kept it quick. For the most part, he's kept it quick, decisive. He looks confident. He's trying to feel the confidence. He's not allowing the nerves a chance to get in there and mess up. And he didn't let the loss, the second loss, impact him too much. In times past, it rattled him more than it did this time. JJ is predicting a Kirishima 14-1 Yusho. That is a strong statement, JJ. Probable. Or I'll say possible, not probable. Kirishima looks the best he's looked in a long time. He has all the incentive in the world with none of the pressure. He's in an amazing position to get that 14-1. I hope Hoshoryu stops him tomorrow. Excuse me. In this case, the morphogenetic field is a more polite way of saying stupidity is contagious. Well, you know what I think it is? People don't take the time. It's a lack of self-awareness. People don't take the time to think about why they're saying something. Why did that particular phrase come out of my mouth? Why do I actually think the thing I think? And if they go back and they say, well, you know, a month ago, I watched this podcast and this guy said it and it just made sense and then I just started repeating it. Then you can ask yourself, do I really believe that? Or am I just repeating things I've heard? I think it has something to do with mirror neurons, but that's a whole other topic. 100% JJ, what did your culinary genius create today? Oh, we must hear about JJ's culinary classics. JJ had a boring casserole that he didn't make. Lame. It probably was good, though. Statue to the guys fighting through injuries. Hakano Fuji ankle foot. Aonishiki toe. Waka elbow. And 2 more serious injuries, Yokozuna Hoshoryu, torn meniscus, Abi, fractured vertebrae. I still can't believe that Abi is fighting with a fractured vertebrae. That seems incredibly dangerous. But, these guys are tough. Wakamoto Haru also seems like he has a calf injury. Yeah, it's taped up pretty well, and he's not moving great. So, yeah, these guys got beat down in this tournament. I don't know if I'll be there for the recap, so Diamond Time might have to wait for the Banzuke. Oh, that is so lame. But I understand. I do understand. We will save it. We will put Diamond Time as top of the list for non-sequiturs in the Guess the Banzuke. Hoshoryu Poker Face is solid. I've had a torn meniscus, so I know how painful it is. They must be injecting his knee with numbing meds like they did mine for a while. Oh, yeah. If he's not getting he's probably getting the Tsurugisho meds, okay? Those are the good stuff. Tsurugisho was able to fight on one leg for a very long time. Yeah, there's no way he's fighting with a torn meniscus without tons of injections. Oh, and look at this. Listen to this. This is the morphogenetic field. The very next statement. Tsurugisho in juryo is done. 0 fighting him. Demotion is all but guaranteed. He said he would retire if he loses his salary. Very sad. I really feel for him. Tsurugisho fought on like a brave warrior, but he's probably going to be very happy in retirement physically because he's got to be in a lot of pain. Tsurugisho knows he's been on the farewell tour for a while. A lot of the promotion pictures like that this time. There's got to be a couple other guys set for retirement too, like guys we've seen for a while. Aonishiki will grow from this. I'm sure his coach will try adding more wrinkles to his game because some guys have figured him out, especially the bigger guys who can force him to be standing tall. Yes, and Aonishiki, you don't go 11-4, multiple tournaments, since your debut, without being extremely adaptable, and we've seen him adapt. I think he'll be fine. I think he will put in all the extra practice. And I think his coach is the former Sokokurai, isn't he? He's a pretty intelligent dude. They will come up with a plan. It is very nice to listen to you and be in a spot with other like-minded people. Why, thank you, Elbow Macaroni. We're very chill over here. We're a little silly sometimes. We get talking about anime and other video games and other nonsense, but we enjoy our sumo. We were spoiled by the last half of 2025. This basho was picked up after the start, but for me, it's just average overall right now. Yeah, because there was so much hype going into it. We almost had a Yokozuna promotion, an Ozeki promotion, Hoshoryu fighting for his life, Onosato trying to prove, he's the top guy, and now everybody's just getting injured out. And this is, unfortunately, the reality that you have to keep fueling the system with new guys because injuries are inevitable. This Koto Eho is a different beast. I don't think I ever saw him win on the belt before. Great to watch, too. He's caught my eye now. I'm going to be paying a lot more attention to him the next couple of days. I found myself, just too focused on Kotoshoho and just kind of seeing Koto Eho as the little brother. I'm going to take a little bit more time before I opine on the recap show. I think Aonishiki's career heaviest and best weight will be 148 to 150 kilograms. That's the way he can keep the speed without wearing on his knees as much as someone who weighs 170 to 180. Yeah, there is a balance there, especially with his style of sumo, but I think he is a little... I can't actually see it from here. Let me look at his current weight. 141. I think he's probably a little too small simply because these guys are all massive. And, they're pushing him around. He doesn't want to be pushed around like that. The reason he was so successful is that they couldn't get to him. But now that they can get to him, it's really showing he needs a little bit more. Hoshoryu put on a little bit of weight to get to the Yokozuna. I mean, he was much smaller. So I don't think it'll hurt him. But yeah, he can't get too big or it's going to destroy everything. Guys are getting away with a lot of Mata the last couple of basho. I thought that too, actually. They really need to start warning guys who are constantly using an earlier start. I've been surprised that they didn't call more matches back. I don't know what's going on. Maybe they don't have a good line of sight in Osaka either. There is a cosmic irony in Kakeru beating Hakuho in a basho with no crowd. I know. It's sad, isn't it? It's like, finally, Kakeru, he's beaten him before, but like, this was a classic, epic final match, and there's nobody there. That was the story of Kakeru's whole career. He could have been a much more winning Yokozuna if he didn't come up in the time of Hakuho. False starts have seemed to become a real problem recently. Like Fujinokawa, for example, was clearly taking advantage of them in his upset wins. Yeah, I don't know why sometimes they let these things slide, and then other times they're calling everything back. But I think this is actually, I wish Mitch was here for this. This is kind of the cycle of officiating. You'll see this actually in any sport where all of a sudden, did we lose our feed? It says we lost our feed. I don't know if we did. Hold on. Guys, tell me. I'll zoom. Did we lose our feed? No, it says we're still here. Okay. I gotta go back to the comments again. My apologies. Something went crazy and didn't work. You'll see this in officiating where all of a sudden they're just not calling the high strike. And you're like, what's going on? For 6 months you were calling the high strike. Now you're calling it a ball. And there's no rhyme or reason to it. It's just a fad. So right now we're in the season of false starts are okay. Spiffy has made a video about all the false starting, pointing out Hiraumi and Yoshino Fuji's guys who like to abuse the false starts. I always think of Ichi Yamamoto as the Mata Man, though. Ichi Yamamoto is the classic Mata Man. But he doesn't try to take advantage of it. He's just nervous. Though I definitely saw Yoshino Fuji taking advantage of it. Army agrees with you. Nagoya. Yes. Oh, yes. It's late. Nagoya is the July tournament. So you will see a lot of slipping in Nagoya, but part of that is it's so hot in the summer in Japan. Osaka, I'm not really sure why it's happening. Based Hakuho would Hanka, just saying. Yeah, he would. Hakuho would Hanka, face slap, forearm to the face, extra shoves after the match is over. Everyone's cool with it. Hoshoryu is a bad guy. I don't see him doing any of that. Tim also agrees, Nagoya. It was a pretty cool video. Went into a lot of detail on how Hiraumi has changed his tache over the years to take advantage of false starts and make them less obvious so he won't get in trouble. Interesting. Maybe I'll have to check it out. Hoshoryu won't use a Hanka often, but he possibly hit the best Hanka I've ever seen on Wakamoto Haru a year or two ago. I blinked and he was behind Wakamoto Haru and guiding him to the ground. I remember that very, very well. Hoshoryu is a master of the slightly shift to grab the belt. It's almost like catch your opponent. So it's not a full shift to the side. It's shift enough to catch the belt. And he's lightning quick. And when you try to Hanka him, he's also lightning quick at grabbing your belt because he knows how to do it himself. So he knows how to kind of anticipate where you're going. Mega Monster says hello. Hello, Mega Monster. We have double monster now. Hiraumi also has much worse victory rate against opponents who put both hands down at the tachi simultaneously, making it harder to false start. This is very interesting information. I'm going to have to look into this deeper. Haters are completely ignoring that Hoshoryu is winning with a torn meniscus, but they are quick to point out Onosato and Aoi Nishiki are injured. It simply comes down to the guy that I like, I will make excuses for. The guy that I hate is the worst, and there's nothing he can ever do to make me think differently. And I do think that a lot of the Hoshoryu hate came from the morphogenetic field. One or two people said, I don't like the way he looks at his opponent. I don't like that he was too aggressive. There's just something about that guy that just rubs me the wrong way. He's the worst. And then everybody jumps on the bandwagon. Lame. Kisano Sato's mistake was not going through the surgery and letting it heal improperly. Yes, Kisano Sato should have, especially because Kisano Sato was like, let me sit out a tournament. Maybe I'll be better. Let me sit out a tournament. Maybe I'll be better. So he took a whole year off just hoping he'd feel better without doing anything. If he just did the surgery right away and then took the time off, maybe he could have come back stronger. But every time you get a surgery, you are different. So there's possible that he gets the surgery and he's not better. And that could happen to Onosato. He could get a surgery and never quite get his form back. But you just don't know. You have to make the choice. And I don't know what Kisa Onosato will do. I don't think he wants to lose like the top guy, the guy who's to fulfill the dream he couldn't fulfill. I would bet Hoshoryu is under a ton of pressure not to miss any, so there's at least one Yokozuna in the Basho, even though he should be having surgery too. There is no way he's taking time off for surgery with Onosato out, without Nishiki not getting the role. Nope, they are going to look to him to be the everything. I think maybe to some degree they'll push away the no Yusho thing for a while. Hopefully he just gets this one and we can just forget about it. But they will put everything behind him if he's the only guy. The second somebody else is better, they will just throw him right under the bus. Army's in Central Time Zone. I can't even keep the time zone straight once we change the clocks. I don't know what time it is anymore. I wish we would stop changing daylight savings time, but that's another topic. Onosato being gone definitely increases the pressure on Hosh. It does. This is the time to prove what kind of man he is. If you want to be a Yokozuna, you have to win under pressure. Period. And I'm nervous. I can be nervous. I'm a fan. I'm going to be nervous all day long. But he can't be nervous. I mean, he will be nervous, but he'll have to channel it, because if you let the nerves get in, the match is over. You've lost. Once again, he stinks. No Yusho. I should have known 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central. My apologies. I didn't know you were Central, so next time I will make sure to make that clear. But like I said, we'll be here for a while. It's our only live stream, so all you missed was me going over the recap of the day, giving my opinions about stuff. Never was a Tsurugisho fan, but sorry to see him have to go. There was just something about the spirit. The fact that he was a huge man and could like beat these young guys with literally one leg. And he was quite speedy on that one leg. But he faded away into obscurity once he couldn't do those cool things anymore. The future still seems bright, though. There's still two young Yokozuna and the one-of-the-kind Aonishiki. I'm sure one of them can carry the torch and be the next Terunofuji. I'm going to say that I think Hoshoryu, I'm worried about the injury, of course, but I think Hoshoryu will do it. He has everything you need to be a great Yokozuna. He has the attitude. He has the dedication. He has the background of having an uncle who's Yokozuna, so it's absorbed into the family. He has the skill. He has the speed. He has confidence. He's not perfect yet. I think maybe that's why that whole idea that if he could be Yokozuna later, can I just say it's a pet peeve of mine? I heard some people saying, oh, it's good that Aonishi's not going to get Yokozuna now because, it's better for him to wait. No, it's never better to wait because you don't know how much time you have in this life. You especially don't know how much time you have in a sport that's known for cutting down people's careers quickly. Look at Takekeisho. If Takekeisho waited to be Ozeki for when he was 100% ready, he would have never made Ozeki. You can't think like that. Now, if you get to Yokozuna and it's not working out, you learn on the job. And that's what Hoshoryu's doing. As long as he stays healthy, I think he still has potential to turn this whole thing around. He has everything it takes. Even having haters. It's a good sign if people hate you because at least you're not boring. I like talking about juryo, but I feel like I only have the same things to say at last time. There's not a lot of hype and excitement in juryo right now. A lot of guys that are really good just jump up and they're in the top division before you know it. And it's like, the guys who just are about to retire are hanging out in juryo with a couple of new guys who are either be stuck in juryo for the next 10 years of their career, or they're going to be so good you barely notice them. The official king of chaos in this basho was Shodai. He took the place of the injured Chaos King Abi. Shodai is Shodai. Shodai shows up some days and he wants to be Ozeki. Shodai shows up other days and he's like, this is kind of a bore. Shodai shows up other days, he checks his watch and he still wins the match. Shodai can only be who he is. Hoshoryu went from the 130s to being 148, 150, and it took him a couple of basho to do it, but it paid off. So that's precisely the weight that you think that Aonishiki should get, and I agree. I think a little bit more weight, and it could be through muscle. It doesn't have to be just girth. I mean, Aonishiki obviously is a beast in the gym. Just a little bit more weight is going to make a huge difference between some of these. Like, they're not going to be able to bully him upright if he gets a little bit heavier. I'm still waiting for the day there's enough guys out there that we get at Ura Yusho. I know, right? Think about that. Like, if we have enough injuries, maybe Ura can win. Wouldn't the world rejoice? I'm glad you could hear me and that it didn't actually go down like I thought it did. Kazuma and Toshino Fuji are future stars. That the Wakano Show is also someone that's on my radar as a real prospect. Well, you know I'm watching Wakano Show because this is Minato Gawa's first opportunity to show his coaching skills. And so I watch Wakano Show very, very carefully. He is the future. I need Minato Gawa's dream to come true. A pure pusher thruster who becomes Yokozuna. It might take 10 to 15 years. But I'm there for it. My browser freaked out a few minutes ago, so something happened. I'm not sure what to think about Kyoku Kaiju with his new Aonishiki-inspired tactics yet, but he's been entertaining. It's a work in progress. He's got to feel it out a little bit more. Mata and the dead body roll are both in the eyes of who's judging them because neither are always called the same way. And that's another factor of sports, period. There's always going to be the human element of judgment calls. And sometimes it's like an in-the-moment thing. Like they decide not to call a replay on a dead body situation because in the moment, that particular judge is convinced what he saw was definitive. And the next day, he might be questioning himself. So some of it is just the mode that the human being himself is in. And it's better to have a human being than, like, say, a robot. Because a robot could be like, automatically, the pinky touchdown first. He's out. You know? It stinks, but it's life. Hoshoryu is letting me down after last basho for falling for the Hanka. I mean, that one was so obvious, dude. Leave him alone. He had to make Chiyoshima look good. I miss when Hoshoryu would aggressively slap his belt 3 times as he came to the center right before they started, but now he chilled out and saves the effort for the match now after his Oyakata talked to him. I was going to say, didn't they have a talk and he was just basically like, enjoy it. Don't get too tense. I think it's working for him. I think relaxing is helping his sumo quite a bit. Gonoyama is the one that will get a Hanka soon. He's charging head down with a lightning blitz. It's perfect for a Hanka. Yeah, he is setting himself up for the Hanka, but who would do it? Who in the final matches is left to do it to him? Asakura tried to Hanka Gonoyama, didn't he? But he got called Amada. Maybe Gonoyama learned some gamesmanship. He'll need to if he wants to win with that style. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. He's changed something. Maybe he has worked on his strategy a lot more. He looks very different than he has the last 3 or 4 tournaments. So he's been putting in some real hard time in his training sessions. Maybe he got some little whispers in his ear from an old friend. I don't know. I like to give all credit to Taki Keisho at all times. Okay, I'm losing it. Okay. Still monster. A guy comes up from juryo for one day, and the only way you can beat him is to Hanka. I left how loud the crowd wasn't after. That's a good point, H. Tim. Big M, are you on the stream tonight for Sunday morning sumo show? No, I'm always day 13, so that means we're on day 11, right? So tomorrow which would be tonight, is day 12. So I'll be on the next night, which would be like Friday, which is, 4 o'clock in the morning. So I always think of it as like Thursday night, but it's actually Friday. Monster, yes, it got called back. Someone like Hoshoryu would pull it off that easily. That head down is begging for it. I still don't think Hoshoryu will do it, because he doesn't want to lose his Yokozuna pride. Wonder if Kotosakura thinks it's better that he's waited. Yeah, I'm sure Kotosakura's like, oh yeah, no, when I'm ready for Yokozuna, then I'll get it. Kotosakura's like, why didn't it happen the first time? What about Abi getting hanked yesterday? He fell for his own move. Yes, we did talk about how that was the most justified hanka in all of human history. You could even see the look on Abi's face. He's like, yep, sounds about right. If Aonishiki does make Yokozuna this year, what Yokozuna ring entering style do you think he'd use? I hope he uses the two-handed offensive style. That's a good question. I think he's the type of guy who will go with whatever his Oyakata's recommendation is. So I'd have to see who the influences around Aonishiki is. In juryo, the biggest stories are all fading veteran crashes out into retirement. Those stories aren't fun. Exactly. It's like a retirement home, and it's kind of sad. If Hoshoryu had to wait to become Yokozuna, he would not have been able to sit out when he got those minor injuries last year and would have had to push through them. If Hoshoryu had to sit out, injuries would have taken him over and he would never have gotten it. And I know some people will say, well, then he shouldn't get it because he didn't deserve it. He did what he needed to do. He got a Yusho and a Jung Yusho. The JSA said that was good enough because even though there is a 2 Yusho rule, it's also a human decision. So it's not like Hoshoryu cheated. People act like Hoshoryu cheated to become Yokozuna. He didn't cheat. He did what he needed to do. He won 3 matches in a row on day 15. He did what he needed to do. He is Yokozuna. It's a moot point. Had he not gotten it then, I'm not convinced he would have necessarily gotten it after that, because I think injuries and the whole fact that there is no, injury protection might have tanked his chances, like what is happening to Kotosakura. They're getting upstaged by Enho right now, who might get denied promotion with a 6-1 Makushita 4 because so many guys above him are having good records. Don't you tell me that, monster. I was all ready to give an Enho parade. They better not do that crap. I like the hanka. It's a smart strategy to counter someone who is extremely fast off the block with their head down. The only time I don't like it is a playoff for the Yusho. I think I'm starting to come around to that idea. That hanka is... I do like the strategy of hanka, but I don't like it when we're all ready for, final day match for the Yusho, playoff matches. I definitely don't like it there. Makushita promotions. Especially when it's a playoff hanka, so JJ agrees. Okay, Okadu, Hakuyozan, Himu Kamaru, Tochi Taikai, Hidanomi, and Enho. Juryo demotions. Tsurugisho, so he's going to retire. Shimazu Umi, Kotokuzan, Fuji Tensei, Nishikigi, there's another possible retirement. Tamashoho, man, Tamashoho really just couldn't do it. Okay, Juryo promotions. Wakanosho, he should be fine. Daiseisan, Ryuden, so Ryuden's coming back possibly. Sadanaomi. Sadanaomi was in that Komusubi sumo salon, and he was talking about how that had always been his dream to reach Komusubi because that's where his dad was. And he's doing it for his dad. I don't know if he can do it, guys, but I'm rooting for Sadanaomi. I know his time has run out, but it was so touching. He's such a lovable person. You really have to watch that sumo salon. Kyoku Kaiju. Makauchi demotions. Midori Fuji. We got to be worried about him. That was we're sitting here talking about all the injuries. The Midori Fuji situation is a scary one. I know there was a lot of talk about the actual translations, but what I think, and you guys might actually know the answer, but I'll tell you what I think. I think it's congestive heart failure. So it is heart failure in that sense, but it's not like heart failure like he had a heart attack. Congestive heart failure causes fluid around the lungs and the heart. If he has congestive heart failure, there's no way he can ever be a sumo wrestler again. So I hope that's not the case. This has come out of left field. We were concerned about Midori Fuji with like just the regular type bodily injuries, but this is serious stuff. So, boy, I hope it all turns out to be not as bad as it sounds. Onokatsu Oshoumi, the O's having a rough tournament. Miyataki Yumi, this has been the slow inevitable. Tobizaru, slow inevitable. I bet money Hoshoryu won't be able to have surgery after this Basho with Onosato out. They'll pressure Hoshoryu to be out leading the tour. He should tell them no because his longevity is at stake. He won't tell them no. Hoshoryu wants this. As much as he doesn't want a hurt knee, he wants to be Yokozuna. He wants to be the top guy. He wants to be representing sumo. So I know his longevity is at stake, and this might be a terrible decision, but he's also living in the moment, being the Yokozuna, because he can be. JJ says, right, day 13. Always forget if it's 13 or 12. I'm glad you said that, because I'm sitting here like, they know it's day 13, right? It's always day 13. Am I making the mistake because of daylight savings time? But yeah, no, I'll be on. That's why I'm not doing a live stream tomorrow night, because I can't handle the sleep deprivation. These days with training, I am so sore and I'm so tired that I need to sleep. I need to recover. Oh my goodness. I'm sure the Kyokai were hoping for Aonishiki's promotion to take away from the Teruno Fuji scandal. Yeah, it might get real dark after this tournament because Aonishiki, they don't have to promote. And now they got to deal with Teruno Fuji. And of course, Chris is saying some things out there about how they're going to let Teruno Fuji off lightly and actually punish Takano Fuji because of the actions that led to the bottle incident. We'll have to see. We know he loves tabloids, but this could get really ugly and really interesting at the same time. And we're not going to have this nice, bright, shining story to talk about. We're going to have to deal with it right out in the open. Yes, the old fuddies in the JSA criticized Hoshoryu for the animated belt slaps. JSA, no fun allowed league. Yeah, the truth is that they've been dogging Hoshoryu too. It's like he can't do nothing. He needs to be the perfect pinnacle of a Yokozuna. So the fans get on him, the JSA gets on him, and I don't think he's doing anything all that reprimandable. I think he's pretty squeaky clean considering what some of these guys are doing. Early on, I thought Gono was doing better at keeping his head up, but last few days maybe reverting. He's probably getting tired. And that's the choice. That's what I think it is. Once again, it is tough to fight for 15 days. Once you get tired, you start to slip into bad habits. You cheat on things. You've got to be really focused and dedicated on keeping your form when you are tired. Another element of being great. I believe you don't get to choose the Dohyo Iri style. It depends which Ichiman you belong to. I thought that might be the case, but it seemed like Hoshoryu and Onosato had types to choose from. So maybe there's like a category of types. Aijigawa is part of the Isegahama Ichiman, so Aonishiki would do the two hands out like Teruno Fuji, Hanama Fuji, and Asa Fuji. There you go. Oh, here goes JJ, having to start trouble. Hoshoryu, more like fraud Shoryu. Haha, I'm so clever. Listen, you'll get your people fired up. Although I don't know, I think there's a lot of Hoshoryu fans in your chat, but the haters. They'll latch onto this fraud Shoryu. Watch this. 20 people in your chat are going to say fraud Shoryu. If it happens, I want a cookie. Reports going around that Teru will receive a punishment, but he's not losing control of his stable, though I think it's unequal justice. I'm sure Hakuho doesn't want another Mongolian losing a stable. My opinion on this is they went real hard on Hakuho because they didn't like him, and now it's biting them right in the ass. Because if you set a standard that harsh in a sport where it is guaranteed that there will be another scandal within 6 months, then be prepared for the backlash when you don't do it equally. He probably doesn't care because he's probably not going to be around much longer as the top guy. But yeah, he put himself in a pickle, didn't he? No, it's only Hakuho that does these type of things. There won't be another guy that we like who's going to find himself in a scandal that we now have set a precedent to punish harshly. Nah, that won't happen to us. It was foolish. I'm sorry, it was a foolish decision. But what do I know? I'm just a silly American. Being real, Oshiumi isn't saving himself and the juryo pickings are slim. There isn't much to talk about aside from Enho. Yeah, we won't be talking about juryo for a while. I only like Hanka when it's funny, which the Fujinokawa Abi Hanka was hilarious. It was peak Hanka in every single way. And I do think Hankas, when they're funny, are classic. A Hanka is fair unless it's against my guy. That's the actual rule. Maria, please like and subscribe. Oh, no, not the plug. I'm not ready. Listen, I will do a plug tonight, but one thing I'm going to do on the recap show is give you 3 different voices. I'm going to premiere a new voice on the recap show. And I'm actually going to write out 3 distinctly different plugs. So there will be the Valley Girl, there'll be the old man, and then a surprise plug voice that you've never heard before. And possibly another one. I was working on a different voice. And then you guys are going to have to vote on the best voice, and that will be the plug for the next couple of tournaments. But for tonight, I don't know. People like the Valley Girl. Some people hate the Valley Girl. I feel like my plug is like Hoshoryu. You either love it or you hate it. And I can't please anybody. So maybe I'll just do... Welcome to 42 Opinions Sumo, the greatest sumo podcast on the internet. If you like what you've heard tonight, please like, comment, and subscribe. Otherwise, there will be a punishment. Thank you. This is going to be one of those basho where only like 38 guys math in a makuuchi. Oh boy. This is one that some people are going to want to forget, including the JSA. How did your evening at the dojo go today, 42? Well, it went much better tonight than it did Monday. Monday, I felt like I got beat up. A lot of things happened to me on Monday. And I woke up Tuesday. Everything hurt. This morning was even worse than Tuesday. And I thought, how am I going to survive tonight? It was very tricky. I didn't know if I could do it. But I got through it and I didn't die. So I guess we can say it's a win. Midori Fuji's condition has been clarified by one of Teruno Fuji's subordinate Oyakata, Tateyama, as fluid accumulating in his lung and hearts. Yep, so congestive heart failure. There's no way he can do sumo with congestive heart failure unless they are incredibly cruel and want to kill this man. His career's over. I have officially started the comment section rankings chart. Everyone that showed up tonight has automatically been promoted to the rank of Yokozuna. Like the JSA, I make up my standards as I go. Classic. I expect a full PowerPoint and Excel spreadsheet. Usually the new Yokozuna goes with whatever style a retired Yokozuna and his Ichiman did. Teru is the only retired Yokozuna in his Ichiman. So if he follows precedent, Aonishiki will use the two-handed way. So it sounds like it's pretty cut and dry. Shira Nui, like Teruno Fuji. That must be the official name. Shiden has also officially retired. I did hear that. as I'm sure many expected, I will miss the presence of the default setting sumo and juryo. Yeah, he was there a long time. I believe Hoshoryu did Unryu because of Asashoryu and Onosato because of Kisanosato. I am pretty sure that was the case as well. Well spoken, Maria. They could have gotten away with a lot more regarding Terunofuji if they hadn't treated Hakuho the way they did. Yeah, they saw him as public enemy number one, and any opportunity to drive him out was the goal, thinking that no one could possibly be as bad as Hakuho. And then here comes Terunofuji. Let me tell you something. He hits Hakuho Fuji with a bottle, if that is to be believed. If that is what happened, if that is what comes out in the report. Haramo Fuji was forced to retire when he hit Takanoiwa with a bottle. And he was not an Oyakata. So even there's a precedent set way back. And they're just going to ignore it. I don't want Terunofuji gone. So I'm not rooting for that, but I just think that they really should have been more careful with their punishments in the past. But, once again, I'm a stupid American. Told you. They'll promote Kirishima. I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but I think he'll get promoted. Oh no, not the plug. That one's for the soundboard. That will get a lot of attention. Death metal plug. Ooh, I could do a death metal plug. I'd have to work on it a little bit. I actually did a death metal version of the national anthem once. I will never share that with anybody. It was intense. The Valley Girl is quintessential. Okay, so we have a vote for the Valley Girl already. Sumo trivia question of the night. Who was the Czech-born sumo wrestler? Bonus question. What winning technique did he use the most? Oh, man, I do not know that at all. I'm sure one of you guys does. Answering machine plug. This is what we're really here for. Answering machine plug. That's going way back. I got to think about that. I can make a list of like 10 of them. We could really have fun in the recap show. Terror scandal is nowhere near as bad as the Hakuho scandal from what we know. Well, no. But Teru is the one who actually did the offense. Hakuho allowed, out of negligence, one of his charges to do it. Teru, as the Oyakata, did it. So, just think about what they did even to Asanoyama over COVID. I mean, the guy lost his whole career over sneaking out into restaurants. And Teru can hit a guy with a bottle? I don't know. I'm not trying to say what Teru himself should get for it, but I definitely think they're not going to be equal about it. Yes, Bob, but it's a business. It's a lot worse for the optics than you would have been, than it would have been, It's a problem they created themselves. Oh, yeah. They're just digging that hole deeper and deeper. Oh, yes. Takanoyama. I actually do remember he had a very interesting look. I do actually remember him. I did not expect one of the big storylines of the Basho would be Ichi Yamamoto injuring his first two opponents. I know, right? Ichi always puts himself in a new category. I doubt we'll get the 100% true story, but I still don't believe the self-reported storyline. I think it's more like he was tipped off, he was being turned in, and then he reported in. That sounds very plausible. I know nothing, but that sounds plausible. Sounds like the human condition right there. Ichi's dangerous, bro. That's right. Ichi's he's gonna show you guys. He's delightful, though. I saw him on Instagram, like, running to get away from something, or he's trying to catch something, and he just, I don't know. There's just something about him. It makes me smile. I saw Ichi Yamamoto laugh in an interview this Basho, and it was like a cartoon villain laugh, too. Strange happenings all around Ichi. He kind of has his own aura. Hakuho wasn't the one beating a student. It was a student on student. This is way worse for the coach to beat a student. Yeah. I mean, like I said, they had Haramu Fuji. He hit Takanoiwa with a bottle and he had to retire. I don't know. Takanoyama Uwatanage, 38 wins. Shidatenage second at 37 wins. Wow. He was probably pretty interesting to watch then because I love the throws. GR Sumo. It's showing up as Sumo Kai again. GR Sumo is the winner. This whole Ura Simple Sumo saga is getting weird too. Well, I'm sure he's looking for, longevity. If he does too many of the crazy moves, maybe he's like got no chance of winning at this point. He's just adjusting. Last basho, Ichi would run out of the stadium to beat the traffic by his own admission. Oh, that's hilarious. It was funny to watch him run. He just looked like, I gotta go. Don't talk to me. Problem is, what can they do with the 40-person Heya if they dissolve it? Oh, yeah. I don't know what they would do. It's already a mess. It's actually kind of hilarious in a sad, depressing way. You had a coach. You pushed him out. You had an established coach, which is Issei Gahama. He retires. Terunofuji takes over. He clearly wasn't ready. Being a coach is not the same as being a Yokozuna. I'm sorry. There's no, they just think these guys can transition from being, the top guy, most aggressive, I will show you, to being, a nice, soft, humble coach. Especially a guy like Terunofuji. Could he have a little time before he was thrust into the role? I don't know. I'm just not thrilled. I'm not thrilled with the way things are handled. If Oho put as much thought into not losing to random Megs, he'd beat up the guys above him, he'd be Ozeki. Precisely. I think about that with Oho all the time. It's like, he just takes his foot off the gas. He is Shodai in training, without a doubt. Ichi had the record fastest exit after a match, and his attendant couldn't find him. He thought he was still at the Rio Goku. That's hilarious. Oh man, there's gonna be so many great stories from Ichi Yamamoto. When we look back, is this the end of the Iron Man career? He's not looking well. Well, there's been other times where we've had false alarms like this, where he just had a bad tournament, and then he comes back and he's okay. But every time you see one of these tournaments where he's just slowly being walked out, you wonder, is this the time? So I'm not ready to say it is, but I understand the fear. Ichi Yamamoto is based for outrunning traffic. Yeah, just on his own. He did the anime run. He's speedily jumping from car to car. People thought that the 2-13 was the end of Tamawashi's career. He's still good. Exactly, JJ. You said it best. We've had this situation before where we thought, this is it for Tamawashi. Maybe he's in a situation where it's every other boss show, he's got the energy. Or maybe he doesn't like the cold. Maybe Osaka, he's a little more cautious because he doesn't want to slip and he's trying to keep himself in good shape. There could be some very explainable reason why it's not going that well that isn't he's, tapped out. I didn't know that before. He really is a character. Ichi Yamamoto needs his own anime. I believe Tamawashi is going to be saved by a lack of anyone to promote. Probably. I'm not yet concerned that he will be demoted to Juryo. Father Time is undefeated, but I hope not. I got to keep rooting for Tamawashi because we're the same age. So he's my spirit sumo animal. Iron Man always has these tournaments. It's because he has minor injuries but doesn't want to ever go Kyujo, so he just gives up matches. It's a great strategy. I mean, how else do you think he's gone this long? Maybe that's why Shodai does it, but I don't know. It's not as graceful when Shodai does it. I can imagine Ichi Yamamoto as a toast in the mouth runner kind of character. Yes. He literally is I'm late. Toast in the mouth, running out the door. What if he drops the juryo? Would he keep going? I think so. Ichi Yamamoto is an anime protagonist. Basically, he could have made an appearance in Hinamaru Sumo. I think they're done with that show, but I'm not sure. Tamawashi is already safe. Okay. I refuse to believe you and Tamawashi are the same age. I know. I'm so old. It's unfortunate. Yep. Tamawashi and I are the same age. Really, unless Mitakayumi or Tobizaru lose out all their matches, Oshoumi will probably drop down, and they won't because there's no jury guys to replace him. That is the beauty of juryo stinking. You get to keep some of your guys a little bit longer. My birthday is Monday. Please ship all Hoshoryu handprints and any alcohol to my house, please. Happy early birthday. Although if you show up on the recap, we'll wish you another happy birthday. And I definitely need to get some Hoshoryu prints. Getting old is weird when you get to be the same age as professional athletes. It really is, because I still remember when I was like in my 20s and like athletes were older than me, and it's like now I'm older than the athletes. It's not cool. Well, Shodai looks like Eeyore when he loses. Oh yeah, that's his nickname from us. He's like, oh darn, I lost another one. Come on, Shodai. I need a birthday Yusho, Hoshoryu, let's go. Yes, Hoshoryu, give Army a birthday Yusho. Listen, I've been saying that in September every year. Never works out for me. Tamawashi has like 8 Kimboshi. Bro was pulling about $120,000 US in Kimboshi a year. Yeah. He'll be hanging out in juryo as long as he's in juryo. Yeah. Just show up if you're making that kind of money. Come on. Seems like March is a popular birthday month. Well, we know that the great Hakuho's birthday was what? Was it March 14th? So, big month for birthdays in sumo. If Hoshu show, party at Army's house. There you go. Strictly Tamawashi should need one more, but I'm assuming they'll cut him slack. They will cut him as much slack as possible. They want his career to go, like, everybody's rooting for that. Everybody roots for a good, like, you know, record-breaking situation because you never know when that's going to happen again. So they will give him as much leeway as they possibly can. Guaranteed. How much time are we going on here, guys? You said 3-hour stream. How long have we been on? I don't think 3 hours is possible. Because 3 hours would be like... it'd be like after midnight. I don't think I'm that committed. So you guys better like come up with some topics if you want to keep me on, because I am tired. I told you I've been getting beat up lately. And I'm very tired. But I came on for you guys. That's all that matters. Bob says, how much? Not enough. All right, we'll go for a little bit longer. Till I really can't read anymore. I'm saying he'll stay with the assumption Oshoumi will lose enough to be demoted first. Yeah, Oshoumi will likely continue to lose. It's not looking too good for him. Yeah, he's not healthy, I agree. Have I seen Furin yet? So that is a yes and no. So I started it. I watched the first episode and that was it. Because I'm observing Lent and I gave up anime for Lent. So it's been a very long, hard 3 weeks, I have to tell you. Technically, you can watch on Sundays, but I don't have any time in my life. So I have to do a lot on Sundays. Anyway, I will pick up Furin after Easter. On Easter, I should just have like an anime marathon. Oshoumi bounces between good and bad basho. Yeah, I was hoping this would be a good basho for him, but he looks like such a train wreck. This one is the hardest for me, trying to abstain and fast every day. Yeah, the more you do it, the longer the time seems to go. I had these like grand goals, but I'll tell you, I've lost weight. It's been great for my training. Fasting is excellent for training. Gives you a lot more energy, believe it or not. No monster, you're right. He's not math safe, but he is Iron Man safe. I love it because it's almost like a double there. Double meaning. Iron Man for the record, but also Iron Man the superhero. I love it. It really sucks we have both Yokozuna with long-term injuries. Hoshoryu will need surgery eventually, and Onosato coach hinted towards his long-term injury that needs further medical care. Yeah. I knew this was coming, though. I was hoping we get a lot longer. I mean, if you were a Takakeisho fan, you already saw the pattern. You're like, this will happen with the next crop. I was just hoping it would be like 5 more years from now. Big M, what do you think about the Siege of Dover in 1217? What do I think about the Siege of Dover? I don't know. Bob, tell me what I think. You know all about this stuff. Give me some opinions that I can regurgitate and then say that I came up with them all myself. I don't have to outrun the bear. I assume we're talking about Ichi Yamamoto. Outrun the slowest deer. Good point. And there are very slow deer this basho. There are limping deer this basho. Waka elbow is really giving him big problems. Waka bro throw the other day was amazing. He pulled that out of nowhere. Didn't the elbow get re-injured by a Tommy Fuji arm clamp? I mean, that's why I said a Tommy Fuji is quite dangerous. He had no problem going for that weak elbow, and that's the one move that if somebody put it on me, I would give up the match. Big M, why do you think that the most books consumed after the printing press was invented were about detecting witches? Were there really just that many witches around? I think there's been a fascination with witches forever. I guess that's my answer. And now that people could write about them. When the basho started, I was thinking it's all over for Tobizaru, but the promotion picture's weakness is saving him. Tobizaru has been saved many a time in his career by beautiful Banzuke luck and Banzuke favoritism. So if he pulls it off again, I will not be surprised. But boy, he does not look good. We knew his time was coming. Big M, do you think that you'd enjoy Galroom, or do you think that it would be gross? I don't know what that is, and I'm afraid to ask if... I'm actually quite afraid to ask. So, I don't want to know. I'm not answering that question. Big M, do you think that Atlantis was real? Well, let me say this. There have been entire lands discovered underwater countless times. I don't know if Atlantis itself was real, but maybe there were entire towns that resemble Atlantis. Big M telling about the third moon of Saturn. I can't give you anything on that. My astronomy is just not up to par. I've given up on Asanoyama getting back to Ozeki. Age and injuries have taken a big toll. That was likely going to be the case, that Asanoyama could not do this. It was insurmountable. So I guess at this point what you do is you kind of root for him like Mitake Yumi, like, oh, he's here and he's winning and that's great, but no way is he getting back to Ozeki. It's just, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how Teruno Fuji pulled it off, quite frankly. I really don't. So, I mean, it makes it seem like it is possible, but I don't see it with Asanoyama, and I feel bad. The Siege of Dover was a battle between France and England over English-owned lands in France, old lands of William the Conqueror. The French lost the battle, but under King Philip 100 years later... See, I knew you would know, Bob. So what do I think about that? I don't know. England was once the most powerful nation in the world. So they were bound to have conflict. We're just enjoying the ride with Tobizaru now. I'm just happy he hasn't been as ugly as we've seen some... I'm just happy it hasn't been as ugly as we've seen some other guys. Yeah, he's kind of having like a gentle fade out. It's not as gruesome or upsetting. Atlantis was referenced by the ancient Greek scholars, so I think it probably existed. Atlantis has been found. It's in the Bahamas. Atlantis Resorts and Casino. Oh, that's true. Well, yeah, I mean, they do find, even in Japan, they found remnants of like an entire town that was there that the water rose up over it. So these stories, like Atlantis, they just come from a real place, but then, get exaggerated. Big M, how do you think they made the pyramids? I'm sure there's a conspiratorial answer, and then there's like the real answer, but I don't know. It does seem quite insane that they could build structures of that kind with no real machines. It is insane. Big M, how cool do you think Gobekli Tepe is? I don't even know what that is. Garum is Roman fish sauce. Think ketchup except fish instead of tomatoes. I don't know. I'm not necessarily against the fish sauce, but it also could be bad. It depends on how it's made. England was technically French. That's my fun fact. But if you go further back, William the Conqueror was descended from Vikings, like the Saxons and Danes in England. So it's actually Scandinavian. Interesting. The real pyramid is Bass Pro Shop. This conversation is going excellent. We have the real hard-hitting answers from Bob, and then we have the deflection from Army, and then you have me giving literally no opinion at all. I'd like to try garum. I've had certain fish sauces, like I think it's called Mensiryu or something like that. The Japanese make a lot of good fish sauces, but I trust the Japanese. I don't know about Roman. The Egyptians were so good at math, no aliens needed. Yes, the conspiracy answer, not needed. Big M, you missed the question about Neanderthal XY chromosomes. Did you do that on purpose or did you miss the question? I actually missed the question. And that's likely because the way the comments work is that it is a black background with white letters. The later it gets, the harder it is for me to read. I start to see nothing but shapes. My turn to ask question. Do you think Agnes Tachian was a fraud, or would he have definitely won the classic Triple Crown had he not been injured? Since everything's considered a fraud, I know nothing about this topic. Since everything is considered a fraud, I'm going to say he was not a fraud. And then I'm going to go to JJ's question that I missed. Actually, you need to tell me the question now. I just know that it's about Neanderthal XY chromosomes. Can you repeat the question? Because actually seeing it would probably be impossible for me. So, repeat the question and I'll try to answer it. They built the pyramids with 2,000 Fuji type Mongolians. Hey, those Mongolians are strong. JJ claims he's got me, but he has not repeated the question. Please, JJ, repeat the question. Do you think Jungle Pocket made TM Opera O a jobber, or do you think TM Opera O was at the end of his career during the 2001 Japan Cup? Oh my goodness. I don't even know what any of this means. You guys got to ask me something that I have a chance to answer. Okay, everyone make their pick for who wins the Yusho. I'm dying for punishment, so I pick Hoshoryu. I can't pick, okay? You know what I want. I want Hoshoryu. I will not do an actual pick. JJ is like refusing to repost the question. What about Shishi? Oh, I think the comment got deleted. I don't see it. Yeah, no, the comment got deleted, JJ. It says, don't worry, I got you. And then there's nothing from you. Maybe YouTube doesn't like the question and that's why I didn't get it. It's a conspiracy! Maybe it's like our copyright strike that we got that was just absolute nonsense. I was so mad about that. It's like, we are a small channel compared to that channel. We don't monetize any of our videos, including the one that they took down on us. It was a live stream from months and months and months ago, so why were they even trolling around my channel? And I guarantee they monetized the video, and I'm not sure they have the rights to the video. So I'm just saying that copyright strike was horrible. And from now on, when I do live streams, I'm probably going to make them private after the live stream because I don't want to be getting copyright striked for things that are fair use. I mean, I promoted that channel. I went straight to that channel. I talked over the video. It was only 30 seconds. I shouldn't get a copyright strike for that. It was insane. But anyway, what about Shishi? What about Shishi? Shishi has had a few moments this tournament where he's looked decent. I think he is actually steadily increasing, but maybe not good enough. I think we'll be seeing him in juryo sooner than later. Yes, JJ, unfortunately, the comment still is not showing up. YouTube has a problem. I don't have any moderators here, and it's not me deleting it. YouTube has a problem. It's probably one of the words you put in. They have like automatic censoring. So something about how you're wording the question is getting it deleted. Do you think Goldship actually gave all during his career, or was it him chasing a butterfly at a higher speed than he ever ran during a race, indicative that he hated racing? I feel like you're walking me into the answer there, so I'm going to say he actually hated racing. I'm expecting Kiri of the leaders. I'd like to see Gonoyama. It really looks like it's poised for Kirishima to win this whole thing. But I hope I'm wrong about that. I'm hoping that I feel a shifting of the tides in the match tomorrow. In that sense, I kind of wish I was going on Sunday Morning Sumo Show to watch Kirishima Hoshoryu. But then it would be horrible to watch that live and like be disappointed if it doesn't go the way I want it to. Do you think Biwa Hayahide had an abnormally large head? I personally don't see it. With a name like that, he probably had an abnormally large head. Shishi is trying hard. He's just at a skill disadvantage because most everyone else has been doing sumo their entire lives. He's getting better, though. I'm telling you, keep an eye on him. If he doesn't get injured, he might have a big turnaround in a couple of years. He's only 5'6". He can still get Kachikoshi. He can, and I wouldn't be surprised. Did we outfight them? Did we outfight the Neanderthals? JJ, all of your comments are getting deleted. It says, I just posted 3 comments above this one. I don't have anything from you. Somebody has marked JJ for censoring. I am not getting your comments. Did we outfight who? This is not right, JJ. I don't know what to tell you. I promise you it's not me doing it. And I don't have any moderators, so it is strictly YouTube. Switch to all messages. All right, let me try that. How do I do that? Hold on. Give me a moment. Give me a moment. You guys can spam a couple more questions while I'm trying to do this. I just sent you a message. I sent you a message on Discord, so you can send it there. You see JJ's comments, but I don't see them? How do I switch to all? Oh. Oh, let's see if I get them now. Yes, JJ, I have them now. I switched it to all comments and now I have your comments. Okay. So I don't even know why that's a thing, but okay. Let's try to go back. Neanderthal genes were taken over by Homo sapiens genes. I feel like I need to think about that one. I would need to do a little research before I even gave you a smart ass comment on that. Do you agree with Maruzensky being banned from major G1 races because he was sired by an American horse? That sounds incredibly weird. Great chat, everyone. I have a busy day tomorrow, so I have to call it a night. Thank you, Maria. Best wishes for your success at the dojo. Thank you, Army. Thank you for coming by. Thank you for your analysis on the post. I will reply to that later on. Have yourself a good night and a good birthday, and maybe we'll see you on the recap show. JJ says, wow. I did send you something on Discord, but I think I'm getting all your messages now. That's so weird. Why would it censor comments? That's stupid. Would silence Suzuka's runway style have been effective beyond his classic year? Don't know. I'm going to go look at JJ's message and see if it's the same thing that I finally see now. Don't you like my clickety-clack keyboard? It's pretty cool. So the official question is, Big M, why do you think that Homo sapiens XY chromosomes replaced Neanderthal XY chromosomes in the fossil record? Did we outfight the dudes or did we do better at wooing Neanderthal ladies? That's a great question. I actually kind of like that question. Maybe a little bit of both. What about that for an answer? M, have you seen the Lego Ninjago movie? I have not, but I think I own it. And just haven't watched it. I have a stack of DVDs. Well, Blu-rays. Good night, everyone. Enjoy the rest of the Boss Show. See you all on Sunday night for the recap where we celebrate Hoshoryu amazing new show on one leg. Fingers crossed. I hope you're right. In the last month or so, all my YouTube has been defaulting to top messages, and I can't think of why I would ever want to do that. I agree. I didn't ask for that. Why do you think Stay Gold sired many G1 winners after being so mediocre everywhere other than Hong Kong and Dubai? I forgot that you're a huge, horse racing fan. I assume this is all horse racing questions. I have no idea, Bob. I don't even know if I could answer any questions at this point. It is getting extremely late. So I'm going to say, let's do rapid fire questions. Oh, here we go. Here's a question I can answer. M, do you think Gohan actually had the potential to surpass Goku? Gohan always had the potential to surpass Goku in power, but not in desire. Gohan never wanted to be a fighter, and all Goku ever wanted to be was a fighter. So maybe in a raw battle of we're just going to fight this one thing out at our highest levels, Gohan probably could have outpaced his father, but he never had the heart of a warrior. So I guess Goku wins. How's that for an answer? All right, I'm going to say rapid fire questions because it is getting late and I'm getting very tired. But Gohan had a human mom. Don't you think Goku being pure Saiyan have given him better potential? I don't know. They say when you make hybrids of things, they actually become stronger. Look at Trunks. Trunks became Super Saiyan super fast. Big M, what do you think about the footprints found in America that date back to around 20 to 30,000 years ago, in spite of the fact that we think people came here about 10 to 15,000 years ago? I think anything is possible and we don't know half as much as we think we know. Trying to remember, what did I have for lunch? What did you have for lunch? If you could have one adopted father, would you choose Hiro or Murray? That's a really tough one. That's a hard question. They are both awesome in very different ways. Murray is more like the type of person I'm used to, but Hiro is very, very fun. So, I don't know. I can't pick. Goku has more potential because he's the main character, and Toriyama ran out of ideas for Gohan. He did do Gohan dirty, didn't he? I bet Shodai would agree with me. Is Shodai a Dragon Ball Z fan? He looks like a Dragon Ball Z fan. What's funny is all these guys probably like at least Dragon Ball Z. There might be some non-anime guy, but I don't know. It's like you're fighting, you get into the sport really young, like I feel like you gotta like at least one shonen if you're a sumo wrestler. Maybe not Shishi, but that's beside the point. Not hard. Father Murray, brother Hiro. That's not a bad idea. Oh, Shodai's a known anime guy? Okay, well, maybe I'll rag on him like a little bit less. Or I'll change my ragging on him tactics. Obviously I know that Daisho and Takikeisho were at least video game guys. Jujutsu oh man, I have a hard time saying it. Jujutsu Kaisen is the big shonen in Japan. All the Rikishi with YouTube channels for their stables say they love it. I really want to watch it, but I'm afraid. I'm afraid I won't like it. As weird as that sounds, I don't know. I'm afraid that I won't like it. Some people have told me a little bit about it, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm afraid. I want to like it, though, because I really like shonen. A lot. Now I'm out of, like, good shonen to watch for the moment. I have all these other, I started Apothecary Diaries, which is pretty good. I'm supposed to watch Furin. I'm still trying to finish Neon Genesis Evangelion again. I watched it a very long time ago. And then I was watching Gungrave, and it's just so dark and depressing that I watch an episode and then I can't watch another one for 6 months. I can't get through it. It's so incredibly depressing. Oh, it's well written, but it is very, very difficult to watch. I saw the first few episodes, but I couldn't get into it. Yeah. And JJ said he wasn't into it, and I do trust your guys' anime opinions. So I feel like I might not like it. Watch Blue Exorcist. Okay, I'll put that on the list. Watch Cinderella Grey, or if you want a short, 4-episode shonen, Road to the Top. That sounds fun. Did any of you guys watch, I can't think of the name of it now. I can see the picture in my head. Oh, no. It'll probably come to me later. It's like a classic OVA from way back in the day, and I can't think of the name of it now. But I also didn't really like Chainsaw Man. I don't really like Chainsaw Man. I wanted to like it, but I don't really like it. Furin is S tier. Okay. I loved the first episode, so I know I'm going to like the rest of it. As soon as Lent is over, I'm going to binge Furin. I really like Apothecary Diaries, actually. I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's pretty good. Jujutsu Kaisen was good for a while, but the author apparently was forced into changing it to appeal to a shonen audience and hates it, so he kills off a lot of the fan favorite characters. Yeah, that doesn't sound good. You don't ever agree with my anime opinions, though. Maybe it means you would like Jujutsu Kaisen more than Blue Exorcist. I don't know. There's something about Jujutsu Kaisen that I feel the vibes are off. Kind of like Bleach, the author was forced to change the original story. Bleach started off so good, and then it got weird, and then it was like kind of good again, and then the ending was weird, and now there's a new season, and I'm thinking about it. Apothecary Diaries is okay to me. I just didn't like Mao Mao. I think that's the main girl character, right? I don't know. I kind of like her. I like the... Did you guys ever see the TV show House, the doctor? There's a little bit of that House vibe to it, and I loved the show House. I could rewatch that over and over and over again. Hugh Laurie did a fantastic job in that show. So the sort of figuring out the mystery of the illnesses is very appealing to me. Maybe some of the other stuff not so much, but I kind of like that part. But Blue Exorcist is a lot lighter in tones. I think you like Blue Exorcist more. Yeah, maybe I need a lighter toned anime. Do you remember Blue Exorcist when we talked about it before? Maybe I should go out of my way to see that one too. I don't want to wait for Adult Swim to air it. I do remember you saying it came to Adult Swim, so. JJ's a House fan. Yes. Yes, JJ, you know. All I know about House is what I see in YouTube shorts. The shorts are classic. It's so dumb, I love it. It's a good time. And actually, some of the storylines, as far-fetched as they are, they're put together so incredibly well. But I think what's awesome about House is House, the character himself. Because, I don't know. He has charisma in all the wrong ways. Have you seen Seven Deadly Sins? Great start. Then season 3 was animated horribly. The manga was solid. Haven't seen that one. I have like a stack here. I have this one called Big Wind Up Ofurui. I was going to check that out. That's like a complete season. What else is here? I have season 2 of Rugrats. I have the live on stage Spirited Away. I have Chronicles of Narnia. A couple of seasons of My Hero. That's just for my collection. What else is here? A lot of My Hero here. I have Godzilla, Mothra, and King Ghidorah. I was going to watch that at some point. I have the original Jurassic Park. And that's it. That's in my pile of Blu-ray DVDs at the moment. That's just one pile. I also watched Delicious in Dungeon. John will back me up on this. I think you can only watch that on Netflix, and I don't have Netflix. Kumar popping in was the craziest thing for teenage me. Do you remember what they did to him? That's the thing about House, right? So he was like a cool character to just pop into the show, and then they did what they did. And I was disturbed for a very long time. I will not speak about it here. I think YouTube has policies against that topic. I would say Blue Exorcist is medium. It's not light, but it's a lot lighter than you think from the premise. Okay. I feel like I do need something lighter. Delicious in Dungeon is AA tier. Seven Deadly Sins has so many haters, but I don't care. I love that one. I'm sure there's something from the past that I've watched that people are like, oh, that show is terrible. Big Wind Up is solid. I watched the dub because it has Brittany Karbowski and Todd Haberkorn, who I love from Fairy Tale. Yeah, I have to decide. I have the full show, I think, unless it's only one season. So I have to decide what to watch it in. Blue Exorcist is like around Full Metal Alchemist level. Okay. JJ Marciel is peak. I have a PhD, but absolutely zero experience in actually doing stuff. But it's a lot more shonen-y. I do love the shonen-y. Wait, I wasn't listening. What's House? House is a medical drama where it kind of starts off with like the first episode. They actually break into a patient's house, but that's not why it's called House. But I was led to believe that was the reason. But like House is like a miserable, wounded, drug-addicted doctor who's brilliant and solves all the most impossible cases. But meanwhile, they have all this interpersonal stuff going on, and House is hilarious. That is my type of humor. If anybody needs to know, House's humor is my type of humor. House is worth it. House is so worth it. You can just watch shorts on YouTube. You don't have to watch the whole thing. There's plenty of good stuff. Marciel is top tier. Okay, so Marciel is peak. Oh, The American House is not anime, so I don't care. There is an anime that's basically House with a female doctor. Forgot what it's called and only saw the first episode. I heard of that and I was going to watch it, but now I don't remember the name of it. Is House worth committing piracy for it? Well, you don't even have to, because I feel like you can get it all over the internet, like just on YouTube or whatever else. I actually own all of the DVDs because I was buying it back when there was only DVDs, so I can rewatch it anytime I want. There are some very, very solid, like just the episode itself, because they are talking about life things as well and sort of investigating the gray areas of life. House is a play on Holmes, or rather Holmes as in Sherlock. Yes. House is 100% worth watching on a streaming service. Let's not forget about Wilson, okay? House isn't good without Wilson. I mean, he played his, whatchamacallit, Watson, basically. And considering that, I can't think of his name now. He's a phenomenal actor, the guy who plays him. He's been in all sorts of, like, really highbrow stuff, and then he's in House, and he plays off of him amazingly. And what is your opinion on Tokai Teo surviving 3 leg fractures and coming back after a year of absence to win the Armia Keenan? That sounds pretty incredible. I'm assuming this is a horse, though. Anything or anyone who can overcome leg fractures and win is top tier. I'm telling you, Monster, you would probably think House was good. It just seems like your kind of thing. Pull up forever, young Saudi Cup race. You won't get copyright struck. Streamers watch horse racing all the time without any problems. There's probably plenty of things I could pull up where I wouldn't get in trouble. JJ's going to bed. That's a good sign for me to go to bed, guys. It's 2 hours and 21 minutes here. Then watch 2000 Arima Kinnin with TM Opera O. Oh, JJ, good luck doing sumo. Thank you for coming on our show when you have to get up in like a few hours. I appreciate you. Highly appreciate you. Say hi to Goose for me. Guys, it's 2 hours and a half. Is that not good enough for you? It's going to have to be, unfortunately. So thank you all for coming. As I said, the only thing we offer on this channel is our opinions, and I appreciate you all for wanting to come here and listen to our opinions and to share your own opinions. As Bob said, the lower division semifinals are tonight, so keep your eyes peeled for the new hot shots that'll be coming up. This is where you'll first see who's capable of what. I agree, Monster. You stalled pretty good. I was committed because I knew I was only giving you one live stream, so there's only one Makushita Rikishi with 6-0. We could have a massive 6-1 playoff on day 13. That'd be pretty cool. Day 13's like my day. All right, guys, it's been fun. Please join us for the recap show on Sunday if you can. If you cannot join us live, we will still leave that one up because I'm not playing anything that could be copyright struck. So check it out later. We will give our opinions on the ending of this tournament, and we will read your comments. We will do our best to read as many comments as possible, but I believe we probably will miss some because it will be hard to give our comments, read your comments. Maybe we'll get more people than usual because it's right after the basho. Who knows? Bob says Enho is pretty much guaranteed promotion, but Monster thinks there could be an issue. So keep an eye out for that. Thank you, Bob. I appreciate you all. Have a fabulous evening. I will see you on Sunday.